So tonight we're going to be reading a story called Pet Boy by Keith Graves. I know that day prep students are huge animal lovers just like me, so I really hope you enjoy this story. Pet Boy by Keith Graves. And there is our pet boy. For sale. Stanley collected pets. He purchased them in singles and in matching colored sets. Big or small, dry or wet, he loved to buy new pets. And you'll probably notice right away that this is a rhyming story. He studied each one carefully and played with it a while. Then he locked it in a cage and stacked it in a pile. Arf, awk, meow, hiss. On Tuesday, Stanley's favorite pet was his giant albacore. By Wednesday, all the new was gone. Stanley soon grew bored. Uck, woof, psst. Come play with us, his lonely pets chirped and barked and purred. Feed us, pet us, take us out. Stanley didn't hear a word. He wanted something unique that could swim and fly and hop, so he looked around and finally found an undiscovered shop. Far Out Pets. Open. Everywhere Stanley looked, the weirdest creatures met his gaze. Snakes with wings and 7 eyes and singing manta rays. Wow! What do we have here? Asked a man with turquoise ears. I'm sorry if I startled you. Please put aside your fears. Aha! I'd like to buy a pet, Stanley said. One with many skills. My old pets bore me with their tricks. I'm looking for some thrills. I like a thrill as well, said the man, glancing from shelf to shelf. I trade in quirky oddities, rather like yourself. Uh-oh. A blazing yellow laser zapped Stanley right between the eyes. His legs wouldn't run. His body was stunned. He was completely immobilized. Laser in a can. The man threw Stanley in a cage on his galactic rocket ship. They blasted off with a sonic boom, and into space they zipped. Ha ha ha. Over spiral nebulae through cold uncharted wastes. With a bump they finally landed in a most outlandish place. Far Out Pets. Awk. Housebroken. New. Rare. Exotic. Stanley rubbed his eyes. Things were a blur. He felt around. A metal cage. Stinky birds with fur. The room was filled with squawking, gawking, squealing things galore. All for sale, including him, an alien pet store. Freaky customers shook his cage when Stanley tried to hide. A 3-eyed buyer said, I'll take this one. Stanley was horrified. My name is Jopner, he drooled and grinned. I'll call you Zuzuzar. And just to keep you safe and sound, I'll put you in this jar. Stanley banged and kicked the jar. He yelled, Hey, let me go. My name is Stanley. I'm not your pet. I'm just a kid, you know. Jopner said, Now do some tricks. Fetch the orb. Bring it here. Catch the flying saucer as I fling it through the atmosphere. I'll never do those stupid tricks, no matter what you say. Everything that Jopner asked, Stanley disobeyed. Jopner wondered, What have I done to make my pet so mad? I'll give him lots of tasty food and a comfy sleeping pad. This food is yucky, Stanley said. I'm not a parakeet. I think I'll run away from here when Jopner falls asleep. Stanley opened the jar and tiptoed out and scampered off with glee. I don't know where I'll go, he thought, but at least I'm finally free. Yahoo! Stanley watched the stars and longed for home. He shivered in the frost. Then something swooped and snatched him up. A giant iron moth. Pet control. The moth brought Stanley to the pound and dropped him in the clink, where strays not claimed by end of day are soon to be extinct. As the sun began to sink, Stanley's hopes were running out. The inmates wailed. Their final meal was rocks with sauerkraut. I need a friend, said Stanley. I really miss my pets. I wonder if they're missing me or if they will forget. The door burst open. Chopner yelled, Hey, Zuzuzar, it's me. Just in time to save you all. Now let's go home. You're free. Chopner! Thanks, said Stanley. You saved my life. Friends like you are few. But I'm not happy in this jar or living here with you. My home is in a galaxy we call the Milky Way. I must get back. My pets have not been fed since Saturday. Chopner said, I should return you to your native habitat. So they rented out a spaceship at the local astromat. They took a shortcut to the Earth, a 20-minute flight. Stanley yelled, Hooray, I'm home! His house was now in sight. Go free, said Jopner. I've returned you to the wild. I must return the astromat. They charge me by the mile. Stanley waved goodbye and ran to see his long-neglected friends. They must be starving, worried sick, wondering where I've been. Stanley opened every cage and said, I'll offer you a deal. You're free to go, but if you stay, you'll never miss a meal. They're thinking about it. He treated them like royalty. He made them lemonade. He thanked his lucky stars for all the friends he'd made. And Stanley's pets all stayed.